Natsu Dragneo, the protagonist of the anime Fairy Tail, once said, "Moving on doesn't mean you have to forget about things. It just means you have to accept what happened and continue living." Animes are animated series that are very much like cartoons, but originate from Japan. The most common and well-known animes are Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, and Sailor Moon. I grew up watching anime at a very young age since my dad admired the art style, and my older cousins were huge fans of Dragon Ball Z and Naruto. Although Fairy Tail wasn't my first anime, it definitely was the first anime from which I learned a lot from. Fairy Tail is about a young girl named Lucy Heartfilia who comes from a wealthy family, destined to be married off to a rich man to continue her family's legacy. But because she wishes to join Fairy Tail, where the most powerful and famous wizards and mages are at, she runs away from home to become a celestial spirit mage and join the guild. When her mom died, she left her these keys that can summon the spirits of the zodiac signs, which she can fight alongside with. On her way to Fairy Tail, she bumps into a man who claims to be the famous fire wizard of Fairy Tail, surrounded by a bunch of love-struck women. Lucy notices that the man has a woman under a love spell and decides to call him out. But when she looks at him, she too falls under his spell. That's when a young man with pink hair and a talking flying blue cat appear beside the man and call him out as well. For the pink-haired man is actually the famous fire wizard of Fairy Tail. The love spell Lucy was under breaks when she looks at the pink-haired man and joins him in taking down the man. The pink-haired man praises Lucy for her keys and introduces himself as the fire dragon slayer Natsu Dragneo of Fairy Tail. Lucy is awestruck and decides to buy Natsu and his talking flying blue cat named Happy lunch. She tells Natsu of her plan to join Fairy Tail, to which he offers to take her to. She accepts and they agree to meet up the next day. That night, though, she is kidnapped by the man who had claimed to be Natsu. Just as she and a bunch of other women are about to be carried away, Natsu finds Lucy and sets her and the other woman free. He manages to defeat the man and tells him to never mess with a member of Fairy Tail. Natsu takes Lucy's hand and pulls her with him while running away. She asks him where he is taking her to which he replies with his signature smile, "You said you wanted to join Fairy Tail, so let's go." This is the moment that their adventure begins, as well as the start to a beautiful friendship. In Fairy Tail, everyone treats each other like family. Their master, Makarov, is a tiny old man who welcomes Lucy and treats the members of Fairy Tail like his children. It is very soon that Lucy starts to feel at home and feels like she is part of a family, since the death of her mother caused her father to push her away and ignore her for most of her life. The thing about Fairy Tail that I appreciated was that everyone had a past they had trouble moving on from. And although they had the biggest and brightest smiles ever, they each had their own demons they were fighting with. It showed that everyone was going through something, and no matter how perfect and happy they seemed, they all had something that held them down. Watching Fairy Tail made me feel less alone and more understood. Like Makarov said, I truly felt like I was part of a family, even if it was just an anime. The thing is, no one can tell you how to live your life. I found comfort in the characters and their development as people made me realize I too could be good. Characters such as Juvia Lockstar and Gadra Red Fox. Juvia was an orphan with water magic, who made it rain everywhere she went. People despised her because of it, which is why she believed herself to be unworthy of love. She was a villain until one of the members of Fairy Tail, an ice mage by the name of Grey Fullbuster, gave her a second chance, and she soon joined Fairy Tail. In one of her battles she had with someone that reminded her of her younger self, she says, "Juvia lives for the ones that she loves. You've got to as well. If you have love in your life, you must keep on living." She came to realize that she was worthy of love and of life thanks to Fairy Tail. Gadra Red Fox, an Iron Dragon Slayer, was also a villain with the best character development I admired. He started a war with Fairy Tail after he was ordered to beat up one of their members, Levi McGarden, and when he was defeated, Makarov decided to give him a second chance as well. He saw there was more to him and welcomed him to Fairy Tail. Although the members of Fairy Tail were cautious of Gadra and didn't accept him at first for what he had done to Levi and their guild, he was forgiven little by little. In one of the biggest and toughest battles against a rivalry kingdom, Gadra sacrificed himself for Levi, telling her, "You taught me what it means to love, and for that I will be eternally grateful, because after everything I face, having a future snatched away from me is definitely the most terrifying thing I've had to endure." We learned that not only did Levi forgive him for what he had done to her, but Gadra had fallen in love with her, and it is thanks to Levi he became a better person. A man who used to kill was giving up his life to protect the woman he fell for. Then there is Natsu, who showed Lucy a whole new world besides the pretty dresses and the lavish parties she grew up in. He made her smile and laugh, and gave her a family, just like he did to me and many other watchers who probably felt the same. Natsu himself suffered a lot as a child, His village had been burned down by evil dragons, but the king of the dragons, Igneo, who respected human life, took Natsu as his own and taught him fire magic. Eventually, Igneo goes missing and Natsu stumbles into Fairy Tale, where Makarov takes him in. Igneo taught him to live his life like if it were his last, and it is why Natsu takes the lives of people very seriously. He once said, "You must live life as long as you are still strong. Never look at your life as something insignificant. Everyone exists for a reason. As small as it can be, I'm sure you have a meaning too." When he said this, I felt like he was talking to me. It made me appreciate my life, even if I was going through a tough time. To not give up and continue fighting is what makes us human, and for that we should be thankful for. We have the power to love unlike any other being in the universe, and it is important we start with ourselves. That much I have Fairy Tale to thank for. So for that, thank you.